You know me, I'm the secretary. Thank you for coming. I'm teaching, obviously, a workshop on color theory. Does anyone know what it is?
I know it has to do with making the player feel certain ways using color.
Yeah, it does. It's the way to use colors to like mess with short-term and long-term memory and actually make the player feel feelings as opposed to, and like just kind of notice things.
It's also for usability.
So because I have 2 color markers, that's what I'm going to use. So when you see that, you think of what?
Finger.
It's red. Right? You're like, alright, it's cool, it's red. I'm sorry. That's green. These are called like basic colors, in which case you just red, green. It's really simple.
So what are the 3 primary colors?
Does anyone know that? Wood Marcus.
I think it's red, yellow, and blue.
Yes. Mixing together and you get more colors. Okay, so basic colors could be used for video games like Castle Crashers. You know that? Because they're all...
Just came out on Steam yesterday.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh man, I gotta get on that.
Anyways, topics.
Also the Pac-Man ghost. You see one color, you automatically notice it. You're like, oh man, that's the red guy. You actually can't blink to it. But yeah, or you can do color situations, just something a little different. You know, when you mix the lighting and the textures and stuff.
So, what's the difference between primary colors and secondary colors?
Did you have to pull it up on that?
How's it going?
No, just talk about it.
It's not pulled up on that.
No, let's talk about why color theory is important. Why is color theory important for us to learn?
It makes you feel things.
But why, as a game designer, should the people in this room learn about color theory?
Well, what's the one thing you want to do as a game designer? Like, when you make a game, you want to kind of envelop the player, don't you? You want to make them feel like they're in a different world. Kind of like, I think Fallout, I like how Fallout does it. Fallout literally makes you think that you have to scavenge for bullets, that you have to scavenge for food and not get radiation. You literally feel like you're in a different world, which is a lot of the colors. Like, a lot of things you don't even notice. So that's kind of what this is about, in a way. That's a lot like color situations, though.
So what are some examples of use of color theory in games?
Right, alright, so I watched a Dead Space interview. The creators of Dead Space. Have any of you played it?
Once.
Once. But you've seen the necromorphs.
Yes.
See how terrifying they are?
Really terrifying.
They're pretty terrifying.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a lot.
The lead designer was talking about how the artists and the designers kept looking at pictures of like open wounds and just freshly cut like amputations and just took the color palettes from that and put it into the necromorph. Things that make the human very uncomfortable. The same palette is used for Pyramid Head in Silent Hill. Makes you very uncomfortable to look at because those are colors that just kind of hit your guts rather than your brain. It's not comfortable for you. A more comfortable color for humans is more like green and stuff that reminds us of nature because we
Blue.
are animals in a sense.
Green and blue are the most relaxing colors in the color spectrum.
Because it reminds us of like an inhabitable environment, unlike these murky grays and reds and blood and no.
I have a fun fact. Disneyland, like for the bathrooms and like the kiosks and all that, they painted it green because they're called. It makes you like less prone to look at it and like blend into the background, so you don't notice it. And then you don't want to notice the bathroom, you know. So kind of like. So I guess that goes along with the.
Oh yeah, yes. Also McDonald's. The walls are painted yellow so you eat and get out. They don't want you to sit there.
That's true.
What color is an Italian restaurant painted?
Usually
Yeah,
red.
like reddish white.
Red, white, green, and yellow. What colors are food?
Their food.
Red,
Why?
green, yellow, and mayonnaise. In other words, it's not just the game industry that uses color theory. It's everyone uses color theory, and this is to give you that step to get on the level of everyone else. powerful moment.
That's what fascinated me.
Also, what color are hospital walls painted? They're all the exact same color.
Blue and
White.
A light sky blue. Why is that?
It's calming.
Neutral and it won't evoke anger.
It is the color shown least likely to produce suicides. It also is a calming color, and it's a neutral color, so people can't be like, I don't like the color of the walls. Why am I so uncomfortable? I'm so sick. It's a calming color that actually makes you feel better. It's what's called a healing color.
Also, the colors that represents things, like in Assassin's Creed, they wear white robes to represent purity. You know they are killing people, so it's kind of ironic. But like, example here, you have a scene. What's the one thing you look at? You go to the green thing.
Yeah.
So obviously, for a game designer, you have to do this contrast. Analogous?
Complimentary.
Complementary. You do complementary colors for the player to look at something. They do this in like Splinter Cell and like Gears of War. I don't have an Xbox.
Keep going.
But they're like, oh, well, plant this bomb or plant this thing. You look for the different color rather than like, oh, it's all black skins. Oh no. So that's what you're gonna look at. So you need to like do complementary colors are colors that are on opposite sides of the color wheel.
What is a color wheel?
Color wheel is phenomenal. You should all be familiar with it. Sure, I assume you learned this in the park. No.
I learned this in elementary school.
No, I was like, I assume you learned a color
This
wheel.
is a color wheel.
That's a color wheel.
Lasers.
I mean, I don't have. Yeah. Oh, that's perfect.
This is how you make colors, using an additive formula. So in other words, you start with red. Well, this one's an additive one, so it's not the basic primary colors. Here are the primary colors. Yellow, red, and blue. All the colors in between these colors are made by mixing those two colors together. So if I had red paint and yellow paint, to make orange, I need to mix equal parts red and yellow. To make a more gold color, I need 2 parts yellow and 1 part red. And so on and so forth with all the other colors. Pretty simple.
Thank you.
So, if you notice on this, it says cool, passive, warm, and active. Now, why is that? Marcus.
Wait, what is it?
It says right here, cool and passive, warm and active. Now, why is that?
I think warmer colors are more of an active kind of, like they evoke more like emotion and you want to, like when I think of like hot weather, I think of red and oranges. When I think of like winter, I think of cold and blue, so I think it's like slowing down and whatnot.
Yeah. These cool and passive colors are very calming, cold, passive colors. They're things that aren't very active, not very out there. So like for example, are you going to paint your assassins bright fucking red? Unless you need that player to feel a great emotion towards this thing, you will have that idea. These warm, active colors. Like, for example, who here's played Magic the Gathering? In the set Ravnica, they had knights in Ravnica that were white armor because they believed in purity, and they had red cloaks because they were the most zealous people ever. Color, by its own, means something. And in different cultures, they can mean different things. And as a game designer, you should know that. For example, Gigi quoted that white meant purity earlier. Now, in Western society, white means purity. What does it mean in China or Japan?
Bad luck.
Nope.
Good luck.
It means death.
Oh, okay.
Yup. What color is a dead body? No matter what skin color you are.
Pale. Yeah.
You turn white. You start to decay. Your skin starts going this ugly white gray color. So in that culture, that's what that means. Also, their winters are pretty shit. So they're like, oh, snow means death. I'm gonna go inside now. So if you're making a game for multiple cultures, you need to understand that by coloring characters certain things, you're going to invoke different emotions in different groups of people from different cultures. For example, red in our culture means something completely different in China or Australia. or Northern Europe? Purple, another great example. Like, what does red mean to you guys? Like, if you just saw the color red and had to describe it with emotions.
Rage.
Strength. Yeah. In China, it doesn't mean that at all. It means luck. Red is lucky color. On New Year's, what color are their little folders that they put all their money in?
Reddish.
It's luck for the new year. Red is a lucky color. Here, it's the color of blood and color of other things. We think about different things. Alright, so now Gigi talked about primary colors. Red, yellow, and blue. Now we have these secondary colors, which are made from the primary colors. So between yellow and red is... You guys can all just yell the answer out. Orange! What's red and blue make?
Purple.
What's yellow and blue make?
Green.
Alright, now we have...
Tertiary.
Yeah, I can't say that word.
Tyrannosaurus.
So now these are the colors in between the primary and secondary colors. And if you notice, there's a pattern starting to form. Yeah. Funness. Now, Gigi also mentioned complementary colors with red and green. Red and green. Do you notice anything?
They're exact opposites.
Yes. And now, as much sense as this is going to make, red and green go well together.
Opposites attract.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, they have the most contrast.
So, like, this is why you'll see in movie posters a lot teal and orange, because it makes everything just pop. I dare you to go find a movie poster that doesn't have teal and orange and be like, that doesn't pop, because it's meant to pop in your mind.
Like Portal.
Yeah, like Portal. Complementary colors, the exact opposite. Now, what are analog colors?
Colors next to each other.
Yep. That's basically it, just colors next to each other. So, like, let's say, alright, I want my backgrounds to be really cool because I don't really want the player to pay attention to my shitty made backgrounds, but I want them to pay attention to the players. Alright, I'm going to use these analog colors for my background. It's going to be blues and purples and greens. But then for my actual monsters, I'm going to have them be the complementary colors of those colors. These warmer, more active colors. They're going to pop, stick out more, and make you feel more emotions. Oh shit, that giant demon is going to kill me. What do you think, Gigi?
I think that's right.
What are some examples of where they do this?
Wait, say that again?
You do that. Oh, Portal?
Orange?
Oh, I was thinking about
Whoa.
bosses.
They
I
do
mean,
that
they do
with
red and
bosses.
blue in a lot of games.
Yeah. Red and blue.
Team Fortress?
Yeah.
Red, blue.
So, you guys know what blue means and red means, right? What do those colors mean together? Now we're getting into the mix of colors together.
Does that mean purple? Is that not the question?
That's not the question.
Okay.
What happens when you have red and blue next to each other? What does that mean?
You have a guy in a red suit and a guy in a blue suit. What do you assume about them?
Conflict.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Red and blue
Yep.
Yeah, there's red versus blue.
are considered colors of conflicts, good versus evil. Let me give you some examples. What are the lightsaber colors in Star Wars?
Green, red, and blue.
Purple.
Red versus
Hey,
blue.
Mace Windu.
Does anyone play Mass
Darth
Effect?
Maul.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
What's Renegade?
Red.
Paragon is blue.
Can anyone
Also-
think of anything else?
Infamous. If you're evil, you're red. If you're good, you're blue.
Same thing with Fable 2.
Yeah, Fable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can anyone think of any others?
I can think of them.
Probably
Jade
the
Empire.
It's like right in front of you every day. You just like don't even pay
Yeah.
attention to it.
I know Pikmin
Probably a
used
lot
to
of
Yeah.
enemies that do it.
Pikmin used
You
to
could
be
go-
the basic colors: red, blue, and yellow.
Yeah.
Pretty simple.
Alright. So now,
Love Pikmin.
let's talk about something really interesting. Now, we know what these colors mean. And just so that you guys know, here are some definitions of colors and what they're supposed to mean in Western society. You should probably write this down. Hint, hint.
I
See, GG, I told you could just teach the whole thing from this poster.
Yeah, but
The words coming out of my mouth, they're useful. So what does red mean?
Intense, fireball.
Energy, war, danger, love, passion, strong.
Could you make that bigger overboard?
Yes, I can.
Where do you need it?
I got a device. I can type faster than I write. Thank you.
It's weird how love and war are signaled by the same color.
Yeah. That's why Western society is so weird.
Yeah.
'Cause it's
love
like-
is a battlefield.
Yeah, and that's why people make that analogy.
What does red mean again?
Just teach it.
Maybe
Maybe
get
it
lost.
It's just like, oh, this is
Energy, passion.
Yes, any bigger
Oh,
it'll get
yeah.
blurry.
Except for that.
It'll be fine. You want to come up here?
No.
Yeah, you're going to. Is everybody good?
I'm blue.
Yeah, I'm blue.
Oh man.
Yeah, that. Just like that. Can't read the yellow.
Can anyone read the yellow one?
Sunshine,
Sunshine, joy, cheerfulness, intellect, energy, attention, and getter.
Superpower sunshine. It's very yellow.
Interesting.
What?
Do you know what that is? Do you know what that is?
What's that last one for yellow? Oh,
For
attention
yellow?
getter.
Yeah, attention getter.
There was free food outside. I was wondering what was going on. There's alcohol too, so you're not allowed to go.
There was wine.
Yeah.
Pretty wine.
Decent wine and cheap wine. They don't have class at this school.
Good.
Hey, where's the free food, G?
I don't know.
No, you guys aren't allowed to get it. It's teachers. All right, is everybody done?
What does purple say?
Purple says royalty, power, nobility, wealth, ambition, dignified, mysterious.
What are some things that are purple? I don't really think right
What color is a king's robe?
now. Not
Purple.
like in again.
No, I'm talking about in real life too.
Oh.
All the way.
These colors came, these notions, ideas came from somewhere.
Yeah, regality has always been symbolized by purple.
Purple and gold.
Yep.
Maybe in Fable your crown interior is like all purple and what you wear is like all purple.
Alright, so now you guys know what
That's
colors
what we
mean.
said next month.
Let's learn about something else useful. How to pick your fucking colors.
There's a website for this.
There is a website for this.
It's called How to Pick Your Fucking Colors.
But you should be able to do this without using that website. So there's monochromatic. Who can think of a game that's monochromatic?
Mad World.
Limbo.
Yeah.
Limbo.
Limbo's a good
Great
one.
example.
Does everyone know what limbo looks like?
All grays.
Depressing.
I just want to make sure we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
Let's look one up.
Alien Explorer NB.
Yeah.
This is a parallel universe?
It's SpongeBob. That's really what you got? Not.
Mario? What?
No, these are.
That looks like a failure search.
Yeah, this
I
is-
wanted to say
Oh, here we
Journey,
go.
then I said no.
Journey.
Journey never.
If anyone's ever played the game Slayer, it's monochromatic. The blood is actually white in the game and everything else is red to make it feel really intense.
Mad World's the other way around.
There's a lot of colors like this. What's a good movie that uses monochromaticness?
Sin City?
Yes, that, a lot of the stuff that they made.
The spirit.
Metropolis.
Yeah, that.
Troubles.
Some game art that was monochromatic.
Oh, there's Limbo.
Limbo.
It's a great game.
I
Random
never finished it though.
dirty
That's
pictures.
super hard.
Blue Charizard looks a little cooler. So monochromatic is actually a really interesting way to do a game because it presents flat out, this is what I want my game to feel like. I don't want it to feel like anything else. This is everything. But then once you have that different speck of color like they did in Sin City, it means that's really important. You should pay attention to this thing.
I think you can in Halo's Forge mode, like change it to look something like that.
Yeah, you can. Complementary colors, like we had talked about earlier. It's also called split complementary colors, which is something they use in games a lot. So it's when you pick one color and then you pick complementary. You don't use the complementary color, but you use the colors next to it, and that's called a split complementary color. GG, what's the next one?
Double complimentary.
It's where you use two of them.
Fusion.
Yeah.
Fusion. Then we have analogs. Pretty basic, just what we talked about before. Analog colors. Just gonna swoop this part of the pizza up, take a couple of slices, be a pro. Then there's triad, which is, I'm just gonna pick this one and then the other ones, I forget how many degrees they are apart.
45,
No.
30,
No.
40.
That would be
It's more like 135.
I don't know.
Something like that.
Whatever, just threw it away basically.
So now, you're all going to write this down, and I'm going to talk to you about these things. Because Gigi's going to quiz you on it.
What the
What the heck?
What the heck?
The heck? So these are terms when you actually talk to other color theorists and artists. Like, who here wants to be a programmer? Wouldn't it be really nice if you told your artist, hey, I know how to speak about what you're doing. You should use more, your chroma's a little low. Your things aren't saturated enough. Your luminance and value suck.
Contrast isn't on there, and I use contrast a lot.
Yeah. What's the difference between shade and tint? I bet none of you know this off the top of your head.
The shade is with black, tint is with white.
Yeah. So when you say that something's tinted and it has black in it, you're looking like an idiot. It pays to know how to talk to people about things and how to use the correct terminology. You guys all know how to make games. What you're here to learn is the terminology so you can talk to other people about making games, to learn the language. Here is your language. This is what this is. This is what Gigi is here to teach you.
Yeah, this is how I talk to artists.
Get on that chroma.
I thought gray was spelled with an E.
I think it's interchangeable.
This is an English thing. Like
it's
English, the spellings are different.
Gotcha.
No, gray is spelled with an A, isn't it?
No,
I've
in
seen
in
it
American
grade.
English, the color is both an A.
I know in the grade.
So we're speaking British English over here.
I speak dyslexic English. It's the best kind of English.
It was
Wouldn't that be fabulous?
I would do it. I would do it in a heartbeat.
That like limits a lot of things. I have to talk to Chris about it.
I would make my game when I had one. Hands down. I don't know how I would make it, but I'd do it.
Pink's not on that color wheel.
Pink is not on the color wheel. Because what is the color pink?
Red and white.
An abomination.
I like this answer.
I love pink.
Since we're on camera, I will not say I'm using response to what people say when they don't like the color pink. So yeah, now there are two types of things that we're going to talk about. If you notice up here, this color spectrum is a little different. It's not the primary colors, like it is here on the regular color wheel. It's made of blue, green, and red. Why is that?
The human eye sees.
No, we see yellow, blue, and red. Why are we using green?
Infrared spectrum?
Nope. We can't see the infrared spectrum.
Colorblind?
Nope.
Just go.
RBG.
RGB.
RGB.
Yeah.
RGB. What does that mean?
Red,
green,
green,
blue.
blue. That's what computers use.
What everything on the screen uses.
This is how you make colors on the computer. It's
You're-
using the additive spectrum.
Do you ever open up Photoshop and then you start drawing and all your colors come out gray and you want to cry and you don't know how to change it? That's what that is.
Yes. Anyways, so this is how computers use their colors. And now, why is white in the middle?
That's what happens when you have all the colors.
When you have all the colors, you get the color white. Because white is a pure color. That's why if you hold up a prism to a white light, a rainbow will come out. Or if you hold it up to a blue light, different colors come out. Now, if you notice on the exact opposite side, we have subtractive. Now, if you notice, there are two colors, which I will advise you to never use. What do you think they are?
Magenta?
Magenta is one of them.
Yellow.
Cyan. Why do I never suggest to use cyan or magenta?
He said something about this crap.
Yeah, I have no
I
idea.
do, because it causes physical pain.
Oh yeah. It's hard to
It is the physically hardest colors to look at.
I'm not feeling
Try
it.
staring at that.
My head. Yeah. Shit.
I'm still not feeling it.
I just got glasses on.
Don't do that. That's awful.
It's giving
If
me
you
a
make your
headache.
game like this, you are an idiot.
You're gonna get
Now, why would I use those colors?
In case you
To
wanted
cause
to
pain.
make somebody
To make someone feel uncomfortable.
like make an enemy that color, you just want to kill it.
Yeah, maybe you make all your enemies in the game cyan. We're gonna do what my company does. We make all the eyes of the enemies cyan, and all the eye color of the bosses magenta.
Is it Illidan?
Illidan's is supposed to make you uncomfortable, for those of you familiar with WoW.
Or Warcraft.
Or just Blizzard.
Or Blizzard.
God, this screen hurts my face.
Why should be like a list of horrible games?
God, fucking, could you just not zoom in? Oh man. Is that comfortable to look at?
Yes.
If you're actually looking at the background?
And not.
No.
No.
Never mind.
Minus the sexy ladies, is this comfortable to look at?
Cyan makes me think of candy.
What?
It's like that bright blue kind of game.
Oh, yeah.
That unnatural.
Looks kind of
Yeah.
sweet.
But cyan is also used on like lights.
Like an energy drink.
Yeah,
or something.
spotlights, there's a lot
But
of
you've never
cyan.
seen this game before.
Nope.
I have. It's a terrible fucking game.
Look at that.
You don't want to know.
Looks like that lady from Bleach.
Why does this guy have an angry face?
Because he's cyan.
Because he's cyan.
His eyes are.
Oh man. That really awkward character from Red vs. Blue.
Yup. Donut.
Why is he cyan?
He's an idiot.
Because he's supposed to make people feel uncomfortable.
He's an idiot.
Are you guys catching a pattern here?
Yeah.
Cyan is usually also the color of magic, which people don't understand. And it makes it easier to relatively explain magic as this thing that makes people feel uncomfortable. So you'll notice in games, movies, where magic is seen as something not real, otherworldly, you'll see it in a lot of cyan and magenta.
And the bad guys use it in red form.
That's why in horror games, the blood doesn't look realistic, it looks more magenta.
Because it makes you uncomfortable.
Like in Amnesia. Like the screen blinks and you just want to cry.
Oh
You're one of
man.
those fools who actually played Amnesia.
Yo, I beat it.
Why interwebs? Why do you hate me?
You scroll.
There we go. Well, let's check out magenta. A very much overused color in video games.
We just see a bunch of basketball cards.
You notice something about this? How many video games do you say?
So far, one. No, not even one.
Good.
Is that NBA?
Italy.
I think yellow is more like purpley.
He's magenta. Oh, he's purpley magenta.
How many games do you actually say that are good games?
No, I don't see any games.